This is Seither.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the blue Terran from Exile 5, it's RunaMok.
Well spotted. Thought we'd snag this TvT while we can. RunaMok has been a little bit inactive as of late. I don't think I've seen him play anything since about mid last year. So not sure what kind of shape he's in, but he's obviously having a stab at WCS, may as well, right?
Yeah.
And he's on XL5, who have had a really good eye for talent in the past. So hopefully he can give us a good game against his opponent here. And what can you tell us about Seither?
And he just came out of nowhere. Like late last year, he started playing some tournaments, and recently he's been taking out really like some of the top players from our region. You know, taking maps off Hig, Betrayus, King Kong, those kind of guys. And I'm pretty excited for this guy in general. He seems to be just like a kid that came out of nowhere, and it's just, you know, with hard work and determination, beating these guys that have been in the scene for super long. So I hope he keeps it up.
Yeah,
but yeah,
he's made a really big splash, I've got to say. I'm looking forward to seeing if this guy can actually make it through the entire WCS qualifier, because I actually think he has a really good chance of doing so.
Yeah, I reckon he has a pretty good shot. It looks like both guys going for at least 2 barracks here worth of Reaper production, and I feel like it's kind of like a must-do on this map, especially just because there are like 2 cliff faces that Reapers can hop in and out of, so it just becomes super difficult to hold any sort of Reaper aggression if you just go straight for a factory or you expand early.
Yeah, it's can get a little bit messy. So we'll see how these guys micro around. This is one of the awful things about TvT at the moment. I think I don't envy having to play the Reaper versus Reaper, because it's kind of like a I mean, this is a bit of a stretch, but it reminds me of Muta versus Muta in the sense that if both players get a whole bunch of Reapers, it's kind of hard to determine who's actually going to win that. Between the micro and actually being like, okay, does he actually have 2 more Reapers than me, or do I have more, or that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. And see, they're about to leave here, but RunaMok distracts him with the 1 Reaper, and oh dear, that Reaper did not have a long life.
That's a pretty big loss. You can't lose one of your early Reapers just because that number will just compound and snowball out of control if you're not careful. So it looks like RunaMok is just going to stay defensive with his remaining Reapers, which I think is a good choice at this stage. He needs to get those first shots off, or maybe even some good grenades. But RunaMok actually committing to a factory and starport on 1 base before throwing any type of expansion, so Seither needs to identify this for sure, because he himself has gone for an expansion and then a factory.
Yeah, and that expansion will really kick in just a moment. I mean, it's not too far off being finished, so if RunaMok can't get any damage done, he's going to fall quite far behind once that lands on the natural. But we'll see what happens. I mean, coming in here with a drop with a couple of Hellions and some Reapers, he could get some damage done. Time will tell, but I gotta say, Seither's vision has been great so far. He hasn't seen the starport and factory, but he is very active out on the map with a couple of Reapers, making sure that he's spotting anything that could possibly come across the map. Let's see if he does catch this small force from RunaMok there.
Oh, it looks like a Reaper might get caught out here.
Well, he is alerted to the fact that this push is ready to rock and roll out the front of his base. 1 Reaper in the main of RunaMok actually being a bit of a distraction here. Might actually pick up a couple of kills. The other Reaper will kill it. But that bought Seither a bit of time, because RunaMok had to pay attention to that. Seither's got a chance to churn out a couple more Reapers in that time, and he's trying to grab one of them Cyclones.
Oh, this is so smart. Seither preemptively walling this off in the back. And this is perfect against these type of builds where you try to elevator the Hellions up into the main while the Reapers hop up the cliffs, but that gets denied pretty easily here. I was a bit worried for Seither, but that wall off really kind of secured his defense there for sure. Now Seither just needs to be careful not to take any bad engagements and just slowly secure his natural. He should be feeling pretty damn good.
That's it, man. See, this play looking pretty tight so far, but RunaMok is not done yet. He's very much committing to this 1 base aggression, so he knows that he needs to either triple or kill Seither here, and
Yeah.
With the liberation zone there, it's going to be a little bit more tricky for Seither to close the gap here, but there is a Viking out. This is a mess of an engagement up the front here, but Seither is forced back into his base, having to pull SCVs even. This is looking like a bit of carnage in the Mineral Alliance for Seither.
Yeah, nice play of RunaMok, using that liberation zone to secure himself a landing area for his Reapers and his forces, forcing Seither to pull back for a little bit, but looks like Seither will be able to hold on. Losing 12 workers, but with that second command center, I don't think he's in that bad of a position, in all honesty.
No, I mean, it's 27 SCVs to 24. Seither is slightly behind in that count, but only slightly. After losing that many workers, that is not too bad of an effort. Now we see RunaMok following up with another Liberator, more Reapers, but actually dropping the command center as well. So he realized this is really not quite working out for him. He did get some damage done, but at the end of the day, by the time his CC is finished and that's on the low ground, Seither's going to be well and truly caught up and probably have overtaken him already.
Yeah, I mean, Seither just needs to sit back, play a little defensively, and just, get his infrastructure up and going, and then, kind of overwhelm RunaMok in the mid game. RunaMok is continuing to build these harassment units, though, so maybe if he can get some more damage done to Seither's economy to try and slow that production from coming up, RunaMok can still definitely be in this game.
He sure can. Oh, that Cyclone. The range, though. Let's see if Seither's able to get anything done to his opponent here. Oh, that poor Liberator. It's kind of over before it began for this guy, but maybe he can grab a couple of kills just before he loses it. Oh, one SCV, two SCVs. Oh, there's something at least.
Yeah, he's just trying to slowly edge his way back into this game. A tank does siege up, though, at the top of this ramp here, and should be pretty helpful in holding this, but with a medevac here to spot on the high ground, these Cyclones could actually lock on and kill that tank pretty fast if RunaMok isn't careful here. Here we go. Knows that there's a tank up there.
Yeah, bit hard to get up in here with that going on. There's not as much maneuverability for Seither because he's only got the one medevac here. Cyclone's going to help out a lot, but to get onto the high ground, which is basically the only place he'd really be able to do anything at the moment, but looks like RunaMok is fiercely pushing him back. Maybe, I don't know if he'll actually commit to anything here, but poor Seither is on the run and he can't actually go any faster. RunaMok does need to be careful not to lose too much here. There is a siege tank has come out for him as well. Gosh, RunaMok is really going deep.
Yeah, he's just shaving off bits of Seither's army, which is really nice for him, but looks like a huge engagement happens here. There's just too many forces for Seither, though, because he does have that shorter reinforcement path, and yeah, that little force of RunaMok gets cleaned up, maybe slightly overcommitting there, and now Seither taking a really formidable supply lead. Should be feeling really good about his position right about now. Throws down a third command center. His stim is finished as well. That's a pretty big point, just because now he can be super aggressive out on the map and choose when and where to engage.
Yeah, he certainly can, and in fact,
oh wow,
he's going to expand to the gold as he pushes out with quite a force. Having a look at the army supply, it's 47 over 29. That's pretty scary considering that RunaMok did just lose a couple of units when he went and pushed all the way up into his opponent's base there just before. He does have a bunker at the front to help buy a little time. Gonna try and take that third base at the same time. Not sure how that's gonna work out for him. But perhaps this drop that he's sending out could do some damage while he's dealing with this from Seither, because I think Seither's rallying pretty much everything out here at the moment.
Yeah. There's actually a Reaper in the back of the main getting a bunch of kills as well, and Seither stims up the ramp. There's just not enough from RunaMok here. The Marines without stim just can't keep up with the stim Marines of Seither here. And the tanks are getting edged forward. And GG gets called out.
He's finished it, man. GG.
Yeah. Very clean play there.
Yeah, man. Seither's play is quite refined. I mean, we don't really often get to see his TvT, do we? But he's done great. And to put things in perspective, I mean, RunaMok, it looked a little one-sided there. RunaMok perhaps not in form at the moment. I'm not sure how hard he's been practicing, but Seither recently knocked off a couple of games from Igus and actually took the series over him in the DreamHack qualifiers, I want to say. So to knock out someone like Igus, that's a pretty big feat. This guy's obviously really solid.
Yeah, we definitely saw it in his build order choice as well. It was just a very standard, safe play. He played the map, you know, with that 2 Reaper opening, kind of maybe predicting that his opponent would go for early Reaper play as well. But that build from RunaMok isn't bad, actually. I mean, it catches a lot of people off guard. It was just either just on top of his defense and decision-making there.
Yeah, Seither didn't do too badly at all. I mean, he didn't really see it till it was on his front doorstep. But as we saw, using the SimCity on that ledge there to make sure the Reapers couldn't close in, meant that when RunaMok actually dropped in front of that wall, the Reapers were all the way behind his Hellions, and they couldn't really help out apart from throwing a couple of Reaper bombs. So he did pretty well with that. It did look really strong though, because I was a bit worried for him when he started losing like 12 workers, but it turns out if your macro is on point and you defend well, you're not going to have too bad of a time.
Nope. This time around the map is going to be Dusk Towers. Reaper play is still pretty popular on this map, but it is a lot easier to hold just because there is only one entrance into the main. And you do have that back pocket expansion, so maybe we'll see a bit more of a greedier playstyle from either guys, but I guess we'll see as we get into this map. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position, he's up 1-0 at the moment from Frenetic Array. It's Seither.
And in the top left, the gentleman in the red from Team XL5, he is RunaMok.
Here we go. Seither goes for a gas first this time round. I mean, this could be indicative of either an early factory or another 2 racks kind of Reaper opening, but on the other side of the map, RunaMok just going racks and then gas, which is pretty standard as well of him. Both guys are probably going to get a Reaper out just because it is such a good scouting tool. A lot of Terrans just tend to go for 2 Reapers in the beginning of the game, follow it up with a couple of Hellions or so, just to battle for that map control. Make sure you don't get caught off guard by any sort of weird tech play. Seither taking an early second gas though, so I definitely feel like this is going to be a factory follow-up.
Yeah. So and see what he comes out with. I think Seither can control the flow of the game quite well. So no matter how he opens up, whether it's the 2 racks Reaper, whether it's the factory follow-up, or even if he gets a CC like in the last game, he's very good at finding small ways to get at his opponent. Like we noticed a couple of times in the previous match, there are a couple of Reapers just out of nowhere getting into RunaMok's mineral line. It's a bit of scouting information, but he's also actually grabbing a couple of SCVs when he does that, and it's a distraction for his opponent as well. I mean, I think that attack while he actually RunaMok pushed in with his 1 base bought Seither a good 10 to 15 seconds while he dealt with it, you know. It really pays for itself. So we'll see what he comes out with this factory build, and if he might be able to get some damage done to his opponent, who has in fact gone for the CC. Oh, this is cheeky.
Yeah, proxied starport. So I reckon this is going to be a Reaper Hellion kind of pressure at the front, and then maybe an early Liberator in the back, because against expansion builds, the Liberator gets out so quick that a lot of times your opponent doesn't have any formidable anti-air to kind of take care of that. So that means that, you know, your mineral line gets locked down, at least half of it, and missing out on that mining early on is really going to hurt RunaMok here, who did lose that initial Reaper, so that's going to hurt him quite a bit in this defense here, because Seither is pushing out across the map. And there we go, the Liberator is on the way as well, so.
You called it, man. Yeah, RunaMok really doesn't have any idea this is coming. He's actually going to lose these Marines if he's not careful. I mean, these are all things that can shred those light units. That Hellion does pop out in the nick of time, though, so he has to be a bit careful poking up there now. But you're right, you know, look at the anti-air that he does have. 3 hurt Marines. That's really not going to cut the mustard.
Yeah, luckily for him, RunaMok can just kind of transfer his workers to his natural, but that's still going to be a pain in the ass. to deal with. Here we go. Nice little micro engagement happening. A lot of the Marines getting picked off here from RunaMok, and now the Hellions and the Reapers are just parked here on the ramp, slowly damaging down this supply depot, and he really doesn't want to lose that early on in this game. Let's see if RunaMok is watching his mineral line. A few SCVs are already going down here.
This is going to be pretty painful. Oh my gosh, he's losing so many SCVs.
8 kills already.
Yeah, he's forced to pull SCVs against this attack at the front as well, so he's going to lose even more. The Hellion goes down, and this might be a very, very quick game to see that the Cyclone does come out, and that should be able to actually clear up a lot of this. But my goodness, the damage has definitely been done at this point.
Yeah, 14 workers already gone down, going up to 15. These Hellions might get a few more kills here.
That's just
even a tech lab going down on the starport. So maybe he's going to follow this up with Cloak Banshee or something.
Yeah, I mean, the world is his oyster at this point. Cloak Banshee is just something that RunaMok simply does not have the money to deal with. He would need that NG Bay, like yesterday, to have a chance here. It's just not going to happen.
Scans. And that's, you know, when you lose that many SCVs as a Terran, you're just throwing down the meals because you're trying to desperately catch up, and you're not going to have the energy to, you know, just throw around scans to take care of Banshees coming into your base. So that's I really like that move from Seither, trying to continue to pile on the pressure.
Yeah.
But that being said, you know, RunaMok did have his natural command center a lot earlier than Seither, so his SCV production should be ahead of Seither's, and maybe that could allow him to catch up. It is definitely going to depend on how much damage he continues to take.
Yeah, I mean, he's still 11 behind his opponent, but maybe he can catch up. Seither is making a double CC though, so he might be able to catch up very, very quickly as well. So, oh my goodness, he's going to lose so many SCVs in this mineral line, and there's actually nothing that RunaMok can do.
Yeah,
you can share that sentiment right now.
The two Marines valiantly chasing that, but oh yeah, the Viking was on the other side of the map to defend this Liberator. The Liberator could get quite a few kills though, but yeah, his mineral line is getting ravaged back at home.